Hello and welcome to another Spastic Kangaroo tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you the BoolTool add-on, which is something I normally don't do. I normally don't do add-on showcase type thingies because normally they aren't as cool as this one. So what's really awesome about this is Boolean modifiers are really cool, but they're a pain in the butt to work with. And there are a few other Boolean add-on managers out there. But I still haven't seen any that are quite this good. So I'm going to show you how to use it today, and I'm going to encourage you to start using booleans in your hard surface modeling. Because even though it kind of gives you crappy topology, it lets you get the shapes in really fast, which I think is more important most times. Right here, you can see the back scope of an AK-47 that I modeled just to try this thing out, and you can see there are a lot of shapes in here that would really require it, like this. All the holes. There are a lot of like complex pieces that are merged together. Right here, this is actually a seam here. I used the union boolean modifier to do that. As you can see, the main reason people don't use booleans is because they have really crappy generated topology. Like, this is horrible right here. You can't even put an edge loop in because it's all triangles, it's all n-gons, and I mean, like, I generally go too far in the opposite direction, where I'm so worried about topology that my shapes look wrong, and then the topology ends up getting goofed up anyway. So I'm now more worried about getting nice shapes than worrying about topology. And you'll notice I don't have a subsurface modifier because subsurface modifiers really do encourage good topology, and if I threw one on here right now, it looks like crap. Even if I put some edge loops in, I mean, oh, I can't even put the edge loops in, but even if I used like the knife tool maybe and started cutting through and cleaning this up, it would still look bad. So I'm not going to bother with that for now. I'm just putting all the smoothing in by hand. Anyway, let's get to using the add-on now. So it's a really simple interface. It uses the new tab feature, which is really nice, because I hate it when an add-on sticks throughout all the tabs when it's not useful to any of them. So kudos to the developer for doing that. So I will start with a basic demonstration of what it can do, and then we'll continue working on this AK-47 and start putting in some areas like the main body of the gun. In case you didn't know, the Boolean modifiers are over here, and they're really a pain to work with. So I'll just do the most basic thing you can do. We'll just cut a cube into another cube. So we're going to add the Boolean modifier, we're going to select the other object, and we're going to select the type, which is difference. And that will cut away. Oh, but now it shows up, so we have to hide this thing. Oops. Oh, it's using the other one. It's using the other object to cut into this. So we need to add the Boolean modifier to this object. I always get it backwards. Okay, so if we do that, you can see the cube still sticks around even though it literally has no use now, because it's just being used as a mold to cut in. So now we have to hide it, and now we can see, oh yeah, that's what our shape looks like. But now, when we unhide it, we still have our crappy cube here. So what people normally end up doing is they go to the settings and change the display to wire. And that's fine, but it's a pain when you have a bunch of these and you have to go through and click through every single one. Oh, and now we're going to add another Boolean modifier, and we're going to add a difference, and then we're going to use the second cube. Okay, that's great, but now we're going to add another one. And you can see it really becomes a pain, and our modifier stack is getting really unwieldy at this point. So now we're going to have union, how about, and that will create that. So you can see why this is a problem. And the thing is, booleans are actually very powerful, but they really get underused, especially by Blender users, because they're such a pain to work with. And if I say deleted this one, oh, the modifier sticks around, even if it's not doing anything anymore. So this has been solved with the BoolTool add-on. So let's just create a cube here, and we're going to select this cube, and we're going to select the second cube, and we're going to click difference. And it just works. It converts this to they call it brushes, the things that are actually cutting away the mesh or adding to it. They call them brushes. So this actually just converts it to a wireframe, adds the modifier, and gives us a really nice, even though it still adds to the modifier stack over here, you really don't have to worry about it because you can handle it all on this side. So if I say would duplicate this one, and then select this and then that again, and then say difference once more, we can now handle all our booleans from here. And we can delete them, shift them around, although that doesn't really matter too much. It mainly matters more when you add a modifier, and you can move those around too, which is great. Really just simple. It's a simple add-on, but it really is just really well designed. So you can do all the things you can normally do with booleans. We'll add another, well, yeah, how about a comma? And we'll say union with this, just like that one, union, and if you go into wireframe, you can see that actually merged the two. So I'm very impressed with this tool. Oh, you can apply them all in one fell swoop too. So that just gets rid of all the extra objects. Really good. So there's really not too much to explain. It's a fairly self-explanatory add-on, but I'm going to now show you how useful it can be when it comes to modeling an AK-47. And I saved this part of the gun to model when I was recording so that I could show you how useful this can be. So this isn't quite as complex as this part of the gun, the little flip-up sight in the back, but it's still got some shapes that we can see here. We can see this inset right around here. We've got a few rivets, and there's like a second piece of metal right here that I can see is sitting on top of the main base. So let's start modeling this. Just delete that grease pencil layer. So let's just start with the main body, and then we'll cut away at it with our Boolean modifiers. That's better. So select that. So select the top, then the bottom, hit union. Oh, it's because it's confused because we didn't close this mesh. So we'll just close it for now until we add the mirror modifier. Union. There we go. And it looks pretty good, so I don't think we screwed anything up here. We'll just apply that to the mesh immediately, and then select this horrible end-on here and delete it so we can add the mirror modifier. There we go. Delete that, and delete this edge, and delete this edge. Okay, there we go. The Boolean modifier doesn't always work, so you might have to clean things up slightly yourself, but it does save a lot of time overall. And finally, we will close that gap. So we can now just add our mirror modifier right there and set clipping. So now let's just add the cube here. We're gonna get this inset right here. Why not do the most obvious Boolean type thing we can do? first. I'm just going to select these edges. I've got edge, select node on, and then we're going to bevel because it's rounded. These edges are rounded. And the Boolean modifier is actually part of the reason people don't use them still, is and they haven't caught on, I think, is because before Blender supported add-ons, Boolean modifiers would make these horribly triangulated meshes, and even though they still do horribly triangulated meshes, like right there and stuff, it's not quite as bad with add-ons because it's easier to clear up. If I just want to, I can go in here, select all these faces, hit F, and just go around, and then go back and add edge loops later on. It makes it a lot easier now that we've got add-ons, which is great. So now we're going to select our brush, we'll select the canvas, and we're going to hit difference. And I'm not quite happy with that, it's way too far in, so I'm just going to pull it out a little bit. And check that it lines up with our reference, which it does. So that's pretty good. And we can just apply that. And you could, right at this point, the add-on doesn't support applying a single Boolean. So, oh wait, does it? No, it doesn't. So we're gonna select our canvas here, and we're just gonna apply it manually and then delete this. It's not a perfect workaround, but it's certainly better than having to do the Booleans manually. So there we go. Our inset is now there. AKs aren't exactly the same on either side, so the inset probably wouldn't be on that side. I don't know though. I'd have to look at another reference. So one more. Oh, actually two more. We'll do this shape here that sits on top, and then we'll add a few rivets. So let's start with this thing. Extrude up there, extrude across, we're gonna cut there, and then, oops, pull that down a little more, and then pull this down a little more, and extrude that back. And because there's this curve here, we might as well select that, bevel that curve, bevel right here too. Here. And yeah, that's pretty good. So we'll just position this where it should fit on the gun, which is right there. And I'm just going to pull this in slightly so we don't have any weird topology later on. And the same right here. Actually, you know what? I might as well just pull this one right up against the edge there. Okay. And just because I'm OCD sometimes about my art, I will just put that line up. And boom. Okay. And because we don't want any weird things happening with the mirror mesh, okay, we'll just pull this in to the edge. Okay. So select our brush once more, select the gun, hit union, and then we're actually going to shift this one above the mirror modifier because that one I think does go on both sides. And I guess I could have kept this one around, put it below the mirror modifier, and then it would have only been on one side, but it doesn't really matter at this point. I'll just go back and edit it manually after I finish modeling the rest. So there we have that. We'll just apply our modifier here, and then we can delete this brush, and because that merged kind of funny, we'll just dissolve those dissolve. And then we'll dissolve these. Dissolve. And that looks pretty good. Finally, we'll add some rivets. So those are actually going to be really simple. Just add a cylinder. Set it to about 12. Scale it down. Rotate it. Position it. Smooth it. What's that? Tools. Smooth. And then select our gun, the gun body. Clicked the union button. Okay, well this one we might have to invert the normals. No, does not like me. Okay, come on, union, there we go. And we will position that above the edge split modifier because we want that there. Let's just move that in a little more. And we can go in, select this rivet, and then duplicate it around a little more. Right there, right here, right here, and right here. And this one has a hole in the middle, so we might as well use our difference modifier. Add that. Our difference boolean, I'm sorry. So select that, duplicate it, move it to a separate object with P, and then select this, then that, and we're going to say difference. And let's just scale that down so it doesn't utterly get rid of it. Scale X, scale Shift X, and there we go. Now you've got a whole look of it. And then we'll apply the boolean on that. We'll apply the boolean on the boolean, and then we're going to apply the boolean to the mesh. It's booleanception. Okay. That was really bad, I'm sorry. So there we go. That is how to use the Boolean BoolTool add-on, and just some demonstration with some modeling with booleans. So I encourage you to check this add-on out because it's really, really helpful, especially to hard surfaces, especially. I don't think people use booleans for soft surface organic modeling, but it's great for hard surface because you've got a lot of these shapes on shapes, and like even looking at this shape, this would be a pain to put in manually because like even if you took the knife tool and just cut around every edge here, that would take a while, and you wouldn't get these nice curves that you can get with the oh, I guess you could bevel it afterwards. It would still be a pain to do though, and it's much easier if you've got booleans working for you. So that's all. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, favorite, and subscribe. I'll have a link to this add-on below in the description. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all later.